releasing. Why? Because it's not anybody else's responsibility to lead except me. That's my responsibility, the same way as yours. So we're here on our weekly Go Fire, Go Sapphire Fast Start training, Sundays, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, like clockwork. Set your watch by it. Make sure that you never get on this call by yourself, that you're bringing people with you. And I'm sharing my come from, what is my particular style and what is my purpose in leadership, as there are many great leaders within our group. My purpose is for each and every one of you to stand on your own 2 feet, to be able to lead and build and cultivate and develop other leaders. I don't want anyone to ever be waiting to hear from another leader, waiting for someone else to do a presentation, waiting to get inspired by somebody else's story, because we have stories that are popping every single day. No, I'm not in the business of creating emotional cripples. I'm not in the business of developing weak people who are not leaders. Every single one of you, my focus and intention is to make sure that you take 100% responsibility for your growth, for your production, and for your impact. And when you lead in that spirit, then you will help other people to develop in the same vein. So that is my come from. There is so much activity that's happening right now. And the people that are getting the most results are the ones that you don't see. You don't hear anything from them or about them until they've hit the next rank. And then you see the recognition, and then you don't see them again. Why? Because they're in the trenches. You want to do one thing when it comes to leading, and that's to inspire. How do you get from the place that you are to inspiration? Perspiration. The more perspiration you have, the more inspiration you're going to produce. And that's how we set the tone. So I see an entire vision. I see an entire group of amazing leaders. Another thing, I want y'all to understand something about me that maybe some of you all don't know. I got some ratchet. I got some ratchet in me. For those of you that maybe are not in the United States, ratchet, that's a little ghetto. Like you got a little ghetto in you. And I probably have more than I would care to admit. So I like to chime into things that get me fired up. And I'm getting ready for the call, and I got some music going, right? 0 to 100. You hear me? 0 to 100. So you got to know yourself. You got to be willing to be yourself. You have to be willing to express yourself in all of the beautiful imperfections that there may be. Authenticity is what is key, because people recognize that. They don't want some cookie cutter board, well-polished individual that's putting on a face that we think you want to see. Leadership is about being yourself. Leadership is about showing up, putting in the work, leading with a spirit of love, but also leading in a spirit of strength. And see, I love each and every one of you all way too much to ever let you off the hook. I will never gas you up if I see that you're not doing the do, that you're not doing what I know you're capable of. Again, I'm not going to criticize you in public. We'll have a private conversation, but we will have the conversation because you deserve that. Your goals and your dreams deserve that. I just want you all to dig into that thing inside of you, that thing in your gut that gets you up in the morning, that keeps you fired up, that gets you mad when you see, like, man, I know I could be doing better. I know I should be going further faster. I want you to access that. And then everybody here, you're a leader in your own right. You're not waiting on me. You're not waiting on the weekly Fire, Go Sapphire Fast Start training. You're not waiting on the weekly flight school training. You're not waiting on somebody else to do a presentation. You're taking your own initiative. I have done more presentations this week than anybody else on the schedule, and I wasn't even on the schedule this week. I wasn't even on the presentation schedule. Why? Because I don't build my business based on the bare minimums. That's not how I build. What kind of sense does that make? We just have a schedule so that the newbies that come in, they know every day that at 8 o'clock, they can have a presentation they can get somebody new on if they want to get their It Takes Two. They want to get it done in the first 24 to 48 hours. Everything we do, we're setting the tone. It is such a beautiful and amazing and wonderful time to be alive. I cannot express that greatly enough. In the midst of challenge and crisis, and is so much freaking opportunity. Goodness gracious, I just get all amped up. All right, I want to share this with you all. I got to share this with you all. I want you to allow yourself to go to this place that I'm going to take you, okay? And then we're going to talk about Vision Quest. So let me set this up.
Hello and welcome to Residence 950. This hilltop estate is adjacent to one of the world's most famous streets in the beautiful Russian Hill neighborhood of San Francisco. This estate spans a full city block, nearly a third of an acre, which is almost 6 standard lots. And in San Francisco, that sort of space is extremely hard to come by. This estate is comprised of over 9,500 square feet with a main house, 5 bedrooms, 6.5 baths, and a 1-bedroom, 1-bath wellness cottage with sauna, steam, massage area, and spa. The estate is connected by lush gardens overlooking a 270-degree view of the city of San Francisco and the Bay. What makes this property extraordinarily unique is its world-class amenities. From a back cave entrance to your chic garage to a 4-sided infinity edge pool. And if that's not enough, we also have an outdoor theater, an art gallery, and a 1,000-bottle wine wall. And this home is certified LEED Platinum for the highest levels of sustainability and design. Residence 950 is on the market for $40,500,000. Let's take a look. Here we are in the backyard, which is the heart of the home. It's a central location between the main house and cottage. And the overall approach to this garden was to do this in a completely sustainable manner. We brought in drought-resistant plants, native plants, ancient olive trees that are over 100 years old. All of the water from this site, whether it's from the rain on the roofs to the garden, is collected and directed to a 12,500-gallon cistern that's used for irrigation not only of this yard, but it's also used for flushing toilets inside the house. We try to reuse materials wherever we can within the home. These cobblestones were original to the house from 1906, and the sound of running water is very soothing and contributes to an overall feeling of wellness and decompression. Here at the center of the garden is our fire pit and seating area. One of the most special elements to this property is the fact that you could be here in your secluded and very private garden, but at the same time have these iconic views from Alcatraz all the way to the Transamerica Pyramid and Salesforce Tower. Just up the stairs, we're here at the outdoor dining area with Piacentina flooring we've imported directly from Italy, elegant Massiero chandeliers, and seating for up to 20 people. We're also surrounded by small speakers that look like lights, but also mushrooms that come out of the ground where subwoofers are located. One of the unique elements to this space is also the fact that we have an outdoor screening area. Whether it be 20 people for dinner to a Super Bowl party that can include hundreds of your friends, I've never seen a house entertain better. And to assist with entertaining, we have this outdoor kitchen, which includes this Heston grill and rotisserie, as well as a wood-burning pizza oven. Coming down this pedestrian path from the garden is one of my favorite features in this house. It's a 4-sided infinity edge pool, but it's actually cantilevered. It's extended beyond its foundation, reaching out towards the edge of the property line. It's almost as if it's suspended in air. A lot of what we do in terms of development you can't see. And in this pool, we actually have a speaker system that's underneath the water. So you can have classical music out here in the garden, but then dunk your head and play Taylor Swift and no one would know.
Switch to Sprint and get 4 lines of unlimited for just $100 a month. Plus, to really amp this up, we're including 4 amazing iPhone 11s on us when you trade in iPhone 6S's or newer in any condition. And now, Sprint customers enjoy expanded roaming access on the T-Mobile network.
Garbage advertisements.
So here we are in the living room, and this is on the same level as the garden. It's bathed in natural light, which is very much our intention since this is a completely detached house. We have this jewel box of a bar, which is beautiful amongst itself, but one of the features I really love is the fact that it captures a view of the Art Institute's bell tower. The bell tower is actually built with an impression of board-formed concrete, which is a motif we try to carry forward in the north and south sides of this property as a way to connect itself to its neighbors. As we step over here, you can see one of the original visions and intents of this home, which was to connect the pool to the bay, to give you this sort of sense of space with water. Here we are in a real chef's kitchen. We have induction and gas for cooking tops, 3 different ovens, including a steam oven, all Gaggenau appliances, 2 dishwashers, and integrated refrigeration and freezer. Not only is it truly functional, but it's beautiful to look at, with Italian Boffi cabinetry, Calcutta countertops, and limestone floors. But what I love the most is its connection to the garden. It truly makes it a family home. One of the things I really like to point out is how light enters this home. We've installed a glass elevator with a skylight above, and that light ends up permeating not only to the floor below, but all the way down to the lower level. So in essence, this elevator serves as a skylight for 3 different levels to this house. Here we find ourselves in the master bedroom, which truly celebrates San Francisco with its views. Not only that, but you have a direct connection to your garden from the balcony above. So a fun fact about this space is that we actually put shielded cable in all of the bedrooms. And the point of that is to reduce our exposure to what's called EMF or electromagnetic frequencies. What we try to do is carry that a little forward with the programming of our retire button on our Lutron Homeworks. So when you hit retire at night and turns down the lights, it also will turn off the Wi-Fi for the house and reset it to start again in the morning. So here in the master closet, we take design seriously. These are Boffi Italian cabinetry, and we also brought in statuary marble floors. And consistent with the rest of the house, these marble floors are also heated, so you could comfortably walk barefoot throughout the entire house any time of day. Here we are in the master bathroom. In addition to beautiful finishes and views, we strive to create a peaceful and serene environment. It's perfect for decompressing. We have this beautiful freestanding soaking tub made by Boffi, as well as Boffi sinks and cabinetry. A personal favorite of mine is these sconces, which remind me of coral. This is truly an urban retreat that allows you to escape from the city. But in case you don't want to, we also have a waterproof television in the shower. Believe it or not, we're on the lower level of a 3-story home. This part of the home has actually been excavated underneath the original house that was here. We have floor-to-ceiling doors that slide open to give you a wonderful connection to a terrace that almost doubles the size of this entertainment room. This house knows how to entertain. This bar is actually a collaboration with Trim Pacific's design team and Jonathan Browning, and we curated the color of our stone and marble with that of the brass. And these may look like hardwood floors, but actually this is a high-density limestone. We were able to design and cut these floors to minimize the amount of waste. With Residence 950, you actually get a second single-family home. We've dubbed this the Wellness Cottage. This cottage was actually built here in 1906 to accommodate the family with living space while their home that was destroyed during the 1906 earthquake was rebuilt. Because this is a single-family home, it comes with a fully equipped kitchen. And all of this goes away with the folding of some doors to magically disappear. Here we are in the would-be bedroom of the residence. This space was repurposed to be a massage area for couples, but easily could be converted into an office or gym. No wellness cottage is complete without its very own sauna, and we also have a steam room with cold water plunge. The steam is actually coming out of a Tensui water filtration system, which serves the entire property. You're swimming in that water, showering in that water, and also steaming in that water. Just outside, you have your spa, as well as a Boffi outdoor shower. And what's unique about this space is the amount of privacy you have with this lush landscaping around you. At Troon Pacific, we take garages very seriously. Garages are often used by catering companies for entertaining. So we consulted catering companies locally and asked, what do they need? And they told us that they needed 20 amps of circuitry, as well as a stainless steel sink and prep area. So we're fully equipped to throw a party of any size. And for your favorite member of the family, we also installed a dog wash. So I'm standing here on the car turntable, and this allows maximum flexibility in terms of not only parking 4 cars in the garage, but it allows you to pull your car onto this to be able to face forward as you go down the long tunnel, because nobody wants to go down this tunnel backwards. Part of wellness is surrounding yourself with beauty, and here you have your personal art gallery. We've tried to maximize flexibility, whether it be sculpture or works of art on paper or on the walls. We've made it easy to interchange and to have lighting that can adjust to whatever need you have in this gallery. Even though this art gallery is beneath the backyard, it actually has natural light that still comes in. So we have skylights that are actually walkable from the garden. An entirely different work of art, depending on your taste, is the wine wall above us. And there you can have over 1,000 bottles of temperature-controlled wine with a cold pantry behind. Having your own art gallery actually allows for maximum flexibility in terms of how the space is used, whether it be dinner parties, lectures, or even having your own DJ come. We have a DMX lighting system that can be controlled by DJs or music. If collecting art is not your thing, there's a lot more flexibility with this space. Originally, it was permitted to be a sports court. It also could be a climbing wall, an IMAX theater, and we've even engineered an opening in this wall to connect to our garage, which can allow for a car lift to be installed and to have a place to display additional cars in your home. Residence 950, your own private oasis, an infinity edge pool, ample indoor-outdoor living, a state-of-the-art kitchen, an entertainment lounge and bar, an art gallery, a 1,000-bottle wine wall, and of course, a 1-bedroom, 1-bath wellness cottage with a spa, a steam room, and a sauna. And all of this could be yours for $40,500,000.
Okay, ladies and gents, give me some of your takeaways as you were looking at that space. You may already live in a house like that. I don't know. Just give me some of your initial takeaways from that experience. Yes, exquisite. I agree. I want to hear your voice.
That house was amazing. I said I could just see myself in that pool, laying back, relaxing, and then it had an outside. Was it had the outside like barbecue or something?
Huh?
Yeah, the outside kitchen, and you can you can have meetings outside. Oh
Yep.
my God, it was awesome.
That's a great place to do some presentations.
Hey, Ed.
Yes, Keenan.
It's Keenan. Yeah, I guess one of my takeaways is, I mean, the house contained some like things that like were beyond like my imagination. Like, and it just blew my mind, and kind of made me just like realize as I was watching it, like, man, like I really don't. It's not that I don't know how to dream, but I would just call like my dreams basic compared to like what we just watched. Like that would never even pop into my head to live in a place like that.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yep.
This is Monica.
Yes, Monica.
We were looking at houses this weekend, and we were like, oh, look at the house and the prices. And then after he said the price, I said, oh. At first it took me back, like when he started looking, and I was showing my husband was standing next to me while the tour was going on. And I said, it's $40 million. And he was like, wow. And I said, you see, this is available. It doesn't mean that we can't dream big enough that we can, have one of these homes or that they are out there. So we can dream beyond what we are looking, we're looking at 200, 300,000 and we are seeing them and we're like, oh, that's big. Oh my God, that's great. And then we see something like this, and I'm like, you see, I'm not crazy. There's bigger things out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's good, Monica. Who else?
This is Hala.
Hala, how are you?
I'm good. One of my takeaway is the detail of it. Every space had the specific detail and the focus that is breathtaking. And when now I bring it back to business, I'm like, wow, I need to be more detailed in what I do so that it can take somebody with a wow before I could even start saying hey before. So that is what I got from this video. It's amazing. It's beautiful.
It's good.
And it's attainable.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyone else have any other takeaways?
This is Greg, and
Yes, sir.
you know, my dreams are always, bigger than my vision. So I already dream myself there. So I visualize it's me and Shatita's house.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, that's good. All right. Anybody else? Because I'm going to move on to the next part of this before we have to wrap it up.
Hey, Ed, I was just thinking, like, it's just the fact that it was like $40 million. And usually when a price tag is put on something, that means somebody could afford it. So it just kind of threw my mindset a different direction where it's just like, like how they say, you make enough for the zip code that you're in. Like change zip code money. That's change zip code money right there.
100%, Mike, 100%.
Ed, it's Michelle.
Yes, Michelle.
I just realized that I don't dream big enough because that was outrageous when I saw that, and I need to dream bigger than I dream.
Wow. It's good. That's really good.
Ed, this is Elle.
Yes, ma'am.
I agree with Michelle, and I think somebody else said as well. I think we need to dream bigger, definitely. But I also think when watching this, it's just such a powerful reminder that no matter what you're going through right now, just return to that vision where you're gonna be, where you wanna be, where you're planning to be, which is this house or some other house, that big dream of yours. That's the main thing. That will pull you out, whatever is going on. I think that's a big reminder for me as well.
Hear, hear. Let your vision pull you through. It's really good. Any other takeaways? I'm going to move to the next segment.
Hey, Ed, this is Erica.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I agree with everyone with just casting your vision. The crazy thing that really just shook me in a positive way. I used to live in San Francisco, and I used to run the stairs of Lombard. And I remember, and it just shows at the time, I would say my mindset and vision is much greater than what it was back then. But I can remember running up and down the stairs and seeing all the homes in the area and just kind of like, wow, these are great homes. But that house right there and the way they have it set, it also lets me know that you can have whatever you want, wherever you want. Someone just said that it's like, I think Daniel just said like the zip code. In that zip code in San Francisco, it blows my mind that something that huge and amazing is tucked right there, because if you're used to that area, the houses are stacked and they're great. But this was just a powerful reminder that, when you have no limits mentally and even financially, that you can have whatever you want, wherever you want, because that home was built exquisitely, like someone said. And I'm just like speechless, like, wait a minute, I used to be up and down that street all the time on foot, working out Saturday mornings, and just, so that's beautiful that, taking our mindsets to no limits, regardless of where in the world you want to be. When you don't have any limits, you can have it, you can do it. So, thanks for sharing that.
Absolutely. Okay. I got one more share, and then we're gonna wrap up with just a couple of more feedbacks on it. There we go. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm just going to play a little bit of this.
Switch to Sprint and get 4 lines of unlimited for just $100 a month. Plus, to really amp this up, we're including 4 amazing iPhone 11s on us when you trade an iPhone 6S.
I'll never forget this. The first day when we left that meeting, he said,
here, right?
"You better keep up. You better keep up." Name is Tim Grover. I worked with Michael Jordan for 15 years. Everyone knows me as his trainer, but my official title was a sports enhancement specialist. If you walk into a gym and I've worked with you for 2 weeks, you're not my client. If I passed you a ball for 1 day and I shot video of you, you're not my client. I define a client of mine who's worked with me for numerous years. Scottie Pippen, numerous years. Charles Barkley, numerous years. Akeem Olajuwon, numerous years. Michael Jordan, numerous years. Kobe Bryant, numerous years. Dwayne Wade, numerous years. I mean, those are the top individuals. I have others that have had successful careers. I played college basketball at University of Illinois at Chicago. I've always been a basketball buff. So I actually did my thesis on strength and conditioning for basketball players. When I graduated college, I had a master's degree in exercise science, and I always knew I wanted to train professional athletes. The only way you could really train professional athletes was working for a professional organization. I wanted to work more with individuals. So I actually wrote letters to all the players on the Chicago Bulls organization. And back then, there was no email. I wrote 14 letters to 14 different players. There are 15 players on a basketball team. The one person I did not write the letter to was Michael Jordan. I didn't get any response back, but I did get a call from the athletic trainer, Mark Feil at the time, saying, "Hey, we have a client that may be interested in your services. We want you to meet this individual, be at the house at 1 o'clock. So I go over there, I knock on the door, and guess who opens the door? I got a chance to sit with him for 30 minutes, told him what my philosophies were, what I could do for him, and he was looking for somebody that wanted to work directly with him. When you work with a team, you have a certain schedule. You're set on whatever the team schedule is. He wanted somebody that was a little bit more flexible, and then somebody that would focus in on his body, because everybody's needs are a little different. That was my path to him. I said, give me 30 days, let's see what happens. And 30 days turned into 15 years. He gave me a list of what he was doing before. I said, tell me what you'd like to incorporate, what would you like to keep out of this program? He goes, well, I want to start fresh. I want to start totally fresh. So my first thing with him was, all right, I don't care how fast you are, how high you jump. I said, none of that matters if you're constantly getting injured, if you're starting to have little nagging injuries. And one thing that he was very susceptible to was groin pulls and ankle injuries. So I said, let's address those things first. The more healthier you are, the better you'll be able to play. And I said, let's worry about being quicker, stronger, faster later. And most people put the concept of we need to make you quicker, stronger, faster first. The quicker, stronger, faster you make an individual, the more susceptible they are to injuries, because they don't know how to handle that extra speed. They don't know how to handle that extra quickness. They don't know how to handle that extra power. When you do those things, you got to learn how to stop too. So everyone teaches you how to go, go, go. No one teaches you how to stop. So my big philosophy was him, all right, let's deal with the injuries that you have. Let's take care of those things first. And by doing that, the more healthier you get, it's automatically going to improve your game. His obsession to win and to compete on the basketball court and everything he does was the same way that I felt. My obsession to help an athlete get better, to keep them injury-free, to play every single game. And if something didn't work, it was like, I always felt it was like my fault. If he missed the game-winning shot. Even though I wasn't out on the basketball court, well, what could I have done better? If he was more fresh, if he was in better condition, or if he turned an ankle, or if he jammed a finger, I'd automatically start thinking in my head, did I do too much? Didn't I do enough? Why did I leave that exercise out? I should have done this. So it's the constant rewind of everything over and over again to do it next time even better.
I got a helicopter to release the fish. How will you catch the fish with the new Lego City playsets?
Everyone knows Michael is a huge foundation and fundamentals guy. All the crazy stuff that you see him doing in the air and all the fancy moves, he never practiced those. He practiced the fundamentals because he knew if he could master the fundamentals, master the foundation, those other moves would automatically come. That was the same philosophy I had. We started off with just the basic compound movements that you would see any strength and conditioning individual do. You know, anything from bench press and dumbbell presses to cleans to deadlifts to squats, all the basic stuff to build the foundation first. During the off season, we would go anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours. As we got closer to the season, the intensity increased and the time became a little short. It would be about an hour to 90 minutes. And then once the season started, the workouts were anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. If there were certain things he just didn't want to do, he would always say, no gimmicks. I want proven stuff. I want proven facts. I want proven results. Because that's what he was all about. He was about proving himself every single game, every single practice, that he was the best athlete, the best basketball player every single day. A lot of trainers come in and they ask the client, how do you feel? It's your job to know how the client feels. You should have paid attention to how many minutes he played, how physical the game was, whether they won or lost, what kind of mental state this person is after a win, what kind of mental state is he in after a loss. And back then, remember, a lot of the games weren't even televised live, so you'd have to stay up late. I had to record the games on and then get up early the next morning and watch them before I could see my client. I was as obsessed as he was, but I needed to know. Now, everyone, you have the Fitbits that, you know, count the person's step. I would literally write down how many steps he took every single basketball game. I have pieces of paper still now. I would rewind it, watch it again, rewind it, watch again, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is how many steps he took in the first quarter. This is how many he took in the second. These how many took he took to the left. This is how many took to the right, forward, back, all this stuff. So that way I could understand which body part and which angle he used most, which one he used less. And the training programs were totally developed around that methodology.
Okay. I'm going to tie this together now, because when you look at what we do, think about this. Michael Jordan has a net worth of close to $2 billion. $2 billion. And everything in terms of his success, in terms of his wealth, in terms of his $80 million yacht, his multiple mansions around the world, his private golf course that he had built, his private jet that's tailored and it's got MJ and the number 23 and it's in blue and white, the Tar Heel colors of North Carolina. All of that is the result of something that happened with a round object that you bounce and you put into a net, you put into a hoop. He's created a $2 billion net worth from taking a ball and putting it into a hoop. Let that sink in. Is it about putting the ball in the hoop? No, of course not. It's about the skill that you have, the mental toughness, the leadership, and the ability to execute consistently. If you noticed on their workouts, they were 7 days a week. The only thing that varied was the amount of time. The workouts were 7 days a week. That's monotonous. Maybe that's not so sexy to some of you. And then having the mental capacity to have a goal, to have a vision, and to do everything in your power to ensure that that vision becomes a reality. So for him, the obsession, the vision was to be the best player he could possibly be and to win championships. So he surrounded himself with other eagles that would hold him accountable and that would help push him and see things that maybe he couldn't see to get him there. Our business is a very simple business. We have a conversation, we qualify a prospect, get them in front of the information, and collect a decision. If they say, not right now, we put them in a funnel and we drip on them. We ask for referrals. Who do you know? Do you know 1, 2, or 3 great people? Make it happen captains. Someone else says, well, I need more information. Great, we get them in front of something else. Another presentation. A live Zoom. Some more success stories. Then we help them make a decision. The ones who say yes, we say make a list. Tomorrow night, get 20 people on a Zoom. Let's launch you. I want to help you make all your money back and then be in profit in your next 24 to 48 hours. That's my personal goal. I know we told you within your first 30 days on the group Zoom, but my personal goal is to help you. Let's do it in 48 hours. Let's break a record. So we have these very natural steps that we take people through. And once they get enrolled, and once we put a check in their pocket, we help them get their first 2, get them, it takes 2. And then you start, hey, here's the schedule. Saturdays, flight school, Sundays, go Sapphire Fast Start training. And then you drip on them. You don't throw all the training information on them at once. You drip on them a little bit. Here's the invite training call. Here's this, here's that. Drip on them, drip on them, drip on them. Get them up to speed. Everybody that starts a new job has a period of probation where they're getting acclimated. It's the same thing here. But the simplicity of it is that simple. Taking a ball, putting it into a hoop, $2 billion in net worth. Talking to some people, showing them information, collecting a decision, and then moving them up along the process, millions of dollars in income. Millions of dollars. Having mental toughness, developing your leadership skills, taking 100% responsibility, you get to set your own ticket in terms of your income. Now, the very first company I did, the top income earner at that point was making $100,000 a month. The company had been around for a little over 5 years. And the top income earner was doing $100,000 a month. So when I saw the top income earner, I said to myself, well, I can do, a quarter of that. Because I didn't want to, I was new. So I didn't, there was a lot that I didn't know. I had no idea really what I was doing, but I knew like I could do a quarter of whatever this person is doing. Like no matter what, the absolute worst case scenario for me was $25,000 a month. I said, if that person is doing 100,000, I could do 25. Like I knew I could do that. Just from a confidence standpoint, from a mindset. And so I got to 25,000 a month in about 30 months. Okay. Took me 30 months to get to 25,000 a month. And then I pushed it. I almost doubled that over the next 12 months or so, give or take. It might have been a little bit less time than that. The #1 income earner in iBoomerang. Now remember, we had our official launch September 2019. The #1 income earner in iBoomerang is earning $100,000 a week. Right now, $100,000 a week. So in my head, I'm like, okay, I could do a quarter of that. Like, let me start there. I'll just start there. Like, you got to create stepping stones for yourself in terms of what your goals are. And it's important to always have a very good idea of what's happening with other leaders, because it's a very strong indicator of what can be duplicated. Because what I'm thinking about is, okay, by the 5th year of iBoomerang, there are going to be several people doing well over $1 million a month. And when people come in, they're going to say, well, I could do 1/10 of that. I could do 100,000 a month. I could do 1/10 of $1 million a month. That's only 100,000 a month. But it's a different paradigm. Now, how does this all tie in? Many of you said, hey, Keenan said, I never even imagined some of that stuff that I saw. How big can you dream? Some of you said, I have not been dreaming big enough. I have got to step up my game. It's true. If a bunch of people come together to create a $40 million property, do you really think they're going to put all of that time and effort and energy and attention to detail into something that's not going to pay off? It's a vibration, ladies and gentlemen. If you build it, they will come. What is the vibration you have for your business? What is your expectation you have for your business and your growth, for the ranks that you're committed to achieving? What is the vibration that you're sending out when you're making phone calls and you're prospecting? See, if you build iBoomerang and your vision is a house that let me give you a visual on this. So if you're building iBoomerang and you say to yourself, my vision, like Monica talked about, a $200,000 house, right? Which is you can get a really nice house. So and I'm not here to denigrate anybody's home, but what's the difference between having a vision for this home, okay? That's the home that you're envisioning, or having a vision for the home that we just saw. Like how many people can fit into a dream of a $60,000 house versus a dream of a $40 million house? How many new people coming into your organization can fit into that dream? Understand that as much of your dream is for you, it's also for others. Because if you're only going after a dream that serves you, you're always going to dream too small. If you go after a dream that can serve and inspire others, now you're going to find out what's really inside of you, what you can dig deep for, what kind of levels you have to your push. And when I saw that house, I was thinking, what if we just buy this house and we'll have it like a 3F Global headquarters, so that anybody in the organization, they can come there. They never have to stay in a hotel. That house will be available. If they want to come and they want to meet some prospects and do some presentations, that house is always available for the entire team. That was my thinking. And then we open it up to the iBoomerang family. We'll just have this like iBoomerang hangout. We own the house, but we allow the iBoomerang family. You have to be a diamond or above to have access to it, but it's yours. You can use it anytime you want. diamond access for that home. I love to challenge myself. Am I dreaming big enough? Is it a big enough dream that other people can fit into, so that when I'm talking to people and I'm prospecting and I'm sharing, I don't get caught up in like the small stuff and stupid people that we're all going to have to encounter along the way. I don't care, because I know where I'm going. When you look at the word obsession, and what Tim Grover talked about was being brilliant with the basics. If you get really, really good at qualifying prospects, getting them in front of a presentation, and collecting a decision, money will never be an issue for you for the rest of your life. Taking a ball, putting it into a hoop, a $2 billion net worth. Now, I understand that you have to have some genetic gifts physically in order for that to be a possibility. You have to have some genetic gifting, some otherworldly talent on a physical level. Well, guess what? Over here, you just have to have the hunger. And then you have to have a commitment to work and cultivate and develop and say, I'm going to talk to as many people as I need to today to get enough qualified prospects in front of a presentation that I'm doing on Zoom, and then I'm going to collect the decision, and then I rinse and repeat. And those who are not enrolling today, I put them in my drip funnel, and I'll drip on them with success stories. I'll drip on them when new vacations come up, emails come up to me, so I can help them dream for their immediate future when this period passes. I'm going to drip on them when I hit a new rank and just say, hey, just wanted to share with you, I hit a brand new rank in my company, just gave myself a pay raise. I'm going to drip on those people. And then the other people who wanted to see something else, I'm going to make sure I have them booked for that next appointment, or I'm going to send them something. I use the Johnny Wembrey Holton Bugs. When Johnny did the presentation, Holton did the back end, and then Holton shared stories of their history. I use that entire 2-hour event like a movie. And I'm like, hey, if you want to see a really good movie, I got a movie I want you to check out. If they want to see more information, I'm like, just watch this. And I'm like, if this movie doesn't do it for you, then nothing will. Like, you can watch this movie, and if you're not excited, I know for a fact you're not what I'm looking for. And then the other people that got started, I'm helping them do their launches, and we're getting in front of people, and we want to help them make money as quickly as possible. I want to get people paid. Money talks, bullshit walks. Either you're getting people paid or you're not. I'm about getting people paid. So think about the power that you have, each and every one of you, the power that you possess. I love championship hardware. I love championship hardware. I like championship hardware because you can't buy it in the store. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care who you know. I don't care about your contacts. Can't buy it. The only way to get championship hardware is you got to earn it. You got to earn it. And when you earn it, no one can ever take it away from you. No one can ever take it away from you. Once you've earned it, it's yours for life. And you wear it. And every time you go somewhere, everybody looks at it like, hey, what is that? It's one of the great prospecting tools ever. And it's like being in the special forces. Like, you got to earn this. This is an equal opportunity. So just wanted to share those things with you all. And I also wanted to shout out, I have to shout out Sandra Thomas. There have been some really great movement in our organization this week. And there are people that have gotten It Takes Two, and I know that we've had some new directors that popped this week. I have to shout out Sandra Thomas because she's just standing out. because she's continuously leading by example. I see her breaking director after director in her groups and developing new up and coming leaders. And I see her helping people do the It Takes Two. I see Sandra doing the It Takes Two herself. Just constantly leading by example, just firing me up. Because she's out sponsoring me this month. The last time Sandra and I had a competition, we were like going back and forth. Right now, she's just kicking my tail in the month of May. That just gets me fired up. So I have to give you your props because you are absolutely just dominating. And I'm excited for the rest of you to take your proper place at the table. Take your place at the table. My purpose is for each and every one of you to be the best version of yourself. And it's not going to come until you start digging. You got to dig deep in here. You have to ask more of yourself. You must raise your standards. If you're not getting results, it's because your standards are not high enough. You're not expecting enough of yourself. If you need to have a conversation with me, I'll give you whatever tweaks and coaching I can give you because I know what it looks like from 0 to 100 real quick. So thanks again for taking the time out to honor your goals and your dreams, to spend time building and developing this up here. This is 90% mental. It's mentality, championship mentality. I want everybody here to have that hardware. I want everybody here to have that championship ring. If you wanted to be an athlete, guess what? It's too late. If you wanted to be an athlete, most of y'all don't have the physical gifts to be an athlete, right? It's not going to happen. If you want to be a world famous singer, you probably can't hold a note the way that a Beyonce or an Adele can do. You probably can't. You probably don't have those skills, right? If you want to be a famous actor, it's probably not going to happen for you. You're not going to be Brad Pitt or Denzel Washington or Tom Cruise. This is our shot to do all of that and to create a dream lifestyle without the headache of being famous. We can create the lifestyle and nobody really knows us outside of the iBoomerang family, and it is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. Have an awesome and amazing rest of your Soulful Sunday. Have a great start to your week. We have about 8 hours left before the clock resets. So I know some of you are stretching right now for that next break. You got 8 hours. In terms of the weekly income, you got the rest of May. You got the bonuses, okay? So don't forget about the rank advancement bonuses. Those are still good. For any of you that hit a new rank, you're gonna have an extra bonus on top of it. But I'm talking about the weekly income. You have 8 hours to give yourself a nice paycheck for the week before the clock resets. So have an awesome and amazing day. Thanks so much. I will see you all next week, same time, same station.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ed, so much.
Thank you, Ed.
Thanks, Ed.
Thanks, Ed.
Thanks, Ed.
Thank you, Ed.
Smoking legal. I got more slaps than the Beatles. Foreign shit running on diesel, dog. Playing with my name, this shit is lethal, dog. Don Corleone. Trust me, at the top it isn't lonely. Everybody acting like they know me, dog. Don't just say it now, you gotta show me. You gotta bring the clip back empty. Yeah, I see the ball, so they sent me, dog. I just broke her off with a 10-piece, dog. There ain't nothing, I'm just being friendly, dog. Just a little 10-piece for it, just to blow it in the mall. Doesn't mean that we involved. I just put a Richard on the card. I ain't going playing ball, but I'll show you how the fuck you gotta do. If you really want a ball, take it far when you're back against the wall. And a bunch of niggas need you to go away. Still going bad on them anyway.